Welcome to another dojo. Have you ever felt like you're missing out? You're behind the eight ball. You're not where you're supposed to be. If so, that might be why you attracted today's dojo topic. I'm going to share my screen with you and make it so that you feel welcomed. Welcome to the dojo. I'm so happy you're here. We meet virtually every Tuesday, and I'd love for you to join us. Last week, our topic was when your partner isn't spiritually awakened, how do you stay true to yourself? And today, we're talking about the fear of missing out. Feeling behind in life can trigger subtle fear, urgency, and comparison, even when you're conscious and doing the inner work. In today's dojo session, we explored why the popular acronym of FOMO isn't about missing out. It's about stepping away from awareness and into comparison. This teaching for awakened women and all women interested in this is about learning to trust their own timing without forcing, rushing, or second guessing themselves. Because if you feel behind, it doesn't mean you missed something. It means your attention slipped from presence into comparison. FOMO isn't urgency. It's the mind asking, can I trust myself? Can I trust myself that I'm exactly where I'm meant to be? And can I trust myself without comparing myself to everyone else? Even conscious women feel this. Not because they're unaware, but because the mind still measures life in timelines. Awareness doesn't compete, it includes. The moment you think, I should be further along, you've stepped out of now and into an imagined future. That future doesn't even exist. Nothing real is happening there. Your timing isn't late, it isn't early, it's alive. And life only unfolds where you are willing to fully be. Notice what happens when you stop asking, am I behind? And begin asking, what is alive right now? This is how presence replaces pressure. Trust doesn't arrive by thinking better thoughts. It arrives when you stay with the feeling of trust in this moment without needing it to be different. Trust allows comparison to fade, not because you stop seeing others, but because you stop abandoning your own pace. Your nervous system learns that trust creates safety. The integration of trust feels quiet. It feels like fewer decisions, less urgency, and a deeper yes to what's already unfolding. There's nothing to prove, nothing to chase. When you live from awareness, timing isn't something to manage. It reveals itself, one honest moment at a time. And you are never behind when you are truly here. The only time is now. The only place you can be is here. Nothing meant for you can ever miss you. Did you know that the word sin is an archery term that means to miss the mark? Even awakened women can feel the sin of quiet pressure. The mind asks, am I behind? Did I wait too long? Should I be further along by now? This isn't intuition. This is pressure. FOMO is often mislabeled as desire, but it's actually comparison, urgency, or fear disguised as motivation. FOMO isn't about missing experiences. It's about not trusting your path, your pace, your divine timing. There are no meaningless moments. How would your life be different if you truly believed that everything is always working out for you? Every single moment. When you accept invitations from the dualistic realm, the mind scans other lives, compares timelines, creates stories of lack. It believes life is a race. Awareness tells a different story. In awareness, nothing is late, nothing is early, nothing is wrong. Like a flower blooming in the sun, life unfolds by resonance, not by force. When you receive an invitation to the illusion of falling behind, behind what? Whose clock? Whose rules? There is no universal timeline, only conditioning. FOMO lives in an attic box labeled, "If I don't choose now, I'll lose my chance." Open the box. Notice what's actually there. Spoiler alert, the box is empty. The urgency was never real. When a choice is rushed, the body tightens, the nervous system activates, doubt follows, the way feels longer because this is not alignment. Aligned timing feels calm, grounded, and quietly expansive, even when the mind doesn't have proof yet. Trusting your timing doesn't mean doing nothing. It means responding instead of chasing, flowing instead of forcing. So let's think about these two questions. How would you answer these two questions? You might even want to pause the video and think about these or come back to them. The first question is, what does it mean to respond instead of chase? And the second question, what does it mean to flow instead of force? What do those two questions mean to you? When you receive an invitation to FOMO, take a moment to check in with your past self because there are things that you're living right now that a past version of you once prayed for. Let's pause and acknowledge that. So much of life is lived and understood in hindsight. And when you look back, even though there's no past or present, we know that, but looking back to what we term as past, can you see that everything you asked for has been given and everything you asked for that was not meant for you was not given? Aren't you so grateful for that? What about when FOMO sounds practical? Because sometimes FOMO wears a reasonable voice that sounds like, but if you don't receive this now, how will you pay the rent? If this isn't the right person, what if the right person never shows up? This isn't intuition, it's survival. Fear pretending to be wisdom. FOMO isn't asking you to panic. It's inviting you to remember. You are not separate from source. You are not alone in creation. When the mind softens, awareness expands. Your body always knows when it's time. This is easily evident as contraction versus expansion and urgency versus clarity. Once you decide you're no longer available for racing to beat others, proving your worth, or forcing outcomes, this is sovereignty. In this moment, take a breath. Let go of imaginary deadlines. Nothing is chasing you. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where awareness can meet you. Trust your timing. I've put a few reflection questions here for you. I'm not going to read them. You can come back and read them, journal about them, take some action if you will. It's up to you how you want to continue with this information. But I want to ask you something. Did you see a common thread in this about trust? Trusting the process, trusting where you are, trusting that where you are is exactly where you're meant to be? If you want any kind of support with this type of information, visit me at masteringyourbeliefs.com. In the meantime, this is Nancy Muller, the one and only Life Sensei, saying ciao for now.